criticizing me. Oh, you're a hypocrite. I thought you were a patriot of America. I thought you believed in the First Amendment, freedom of speech. I do. I do. But this is the thing. There's a difference between allowing someone to have freedom of speech and imagine like going to a business seminar. You know what I mean? It could be for any purpose, like an insurance seminar, whatever it is, a sales corporation where they're, discussing new sales techniques to increase revenue for their corporation. And let's say you got a guy, like while they're trying to have this very serious seminar, you got a guy standing up, screaming, whatever, you know, profanity, hate, they're going to have him removed. So, that's just the bottom line. So there has to be like a time where there has to be serious business. And there has to be a time where, yes, people should have the right to say and do whatever they want. But do you see what I'm trying to say? It would be no different than any business seminar, any different than any professional organization meeting. You can't have some lunatic screaming at the top of his lungs or, profanity, calling the guy who's running the meeting, their child's names and profanity and insulting children and insulting, the guy's wife and his. At some point, they got to kick the person out. Do you follow what I mean? No, but Antonio, do you see what I'm trying to say to you? At some point, there has to be a limit, like to see, like this is like listen to me. This is serious business for me. I don't know if it's serious business to you. This could be a joke to you. You follow me? I could be a joke to you, and you're entitled to feel that. But this is serious to me because I feel I am so effing angry that retail threw away 350, but you have no idea how angry I am. I don't No one seems to give a shit. No one seems to care. Everybody is completely okay with this. But I am friggin' so furious. I'm enraged. I'm enraged that retail took 300 and people don't realize how much $350 billion is. I mean, my God, it's almost a friggin' half of a friggin' trillion, not three-quarters of $1 trillion here. Listen to me. This is some big ass money. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, is worth like what, 260 bill? This is like almost $100 billion more that retail turned to zero. They squandered the money. It's gone. And it just drives me crazy because I think to myself, could you imagine rather than just squander the money, turn it to zero, if that money was invested in the casino industry? Again, do you know? Okay, the top casinos in Las Vegas. Now I'm talking about I'm talking like the Bellagio. I'm talking like, Paris. I'm talking 2 billion at most to 4 billion, to acquire a casino like that. Retail lost 350 effing billion dollars. Hold on here. Just hear me out, Antonio. Forget about bear markets. Forget about whatever your opinion is. You just have to try to understand that I can't accept it. All right. I'm sorry. I apologize to you. I cannot, in good conscience, accept it. It's driving me crazy. I'm having nightmares. I'm losing sleep. I'm losing sleep that retail threw away that type of money. And you look at people like Ken Griffin. Now, I don't care. I know you love this guy. I know that this guy is like your idol. But bottom line is that he was found guilty of obviously handling his short sale transaction in an unethical way. And he was fined $7 million, which is a joke, which is a slap on the wrist. But the thing is that it's just all of this stuff to me is all shit on the wall. You look at Adam Aaron, who never was transparent, never hired Wes Christian, never hired share intel, never did a share recall. AMC is all a big mystery. You look at Ken Griffin, obviously did something wrong, right? Because he was fined 7 million, but there's no justice. There's no justice for the retail investor. The retail investor basically just lost an entire fortune, a fortune, my God. $350 billion turned to zero. And it seems like everybody else is coming out ahead. Like, Adam Aaron's coming out. First of all, let's forget the fact that in 2021 on, the guy sold like around over $50 million worth of AMC stock. Let's forget the fact he issued APE without asking our permission. Let's forget the fact the 1 for 10 reverse stock split. Let's forget the fact that the guy's now selling, he sold 40 million shares of AMC, could sell up to 390 million shares. Dilution friggin' Bill. Dilution Central. Okay, so you have to understand that the only people here that are getting screwed, Antonio, I'm sorry to break it to you, is retail. Everybody else is coming out ahead. Citadel made 16 billion. All these hedge funds made a fortune that bet against AMC. They made a effing fortune. And I don't care what you say. It was never proven that this was a fair game. It was, like I said, if Adam Aaron would have did everything in his power to prove to us that there were no synthetics, to prove to us that this was fair, he did not do that. He didn't do it. There was no transparency. So you could say whatever you want, Antonio. There was no transparency. So what was left? What's the end result? The end result of this whole charade is that retail lost $350 billion. Now, what none of you understand is how much money that is. I'm telling you, you're talking about an empire. You're talking about a dynasty of casinos worldwide that would probably be generating revenues of over $50 billion a year. Like I told you, just one casino. I'm just throwing this out. And I'll even take the smallest sector. Atlantic City is nothing like Vegas. Atlantic City is nothing like, Macau, okay? The Borgata makes 124 million a month. 100, and you know that the Borgata is not going to cost 350 billion to buy, maybe 3 billion, 4 billion at most. Maybe a little more. Okay, but we're not talking that much more. Okay, and you're talking about a casino that makes 124 million a month. So what I'm just trying to make you understand, Antonio, and other people, is that $350 million was lost and squandered. It was squandered. It was squandered. It's worth zero. And if that same amount of money was invested in online casinos, sports betting, casinos in, Macau, Vegas, Atlantic City, around the country, worldwide, because there's plenty of places that you can do this on a very large level. You're talking about that 350 billion could have potentially had returns of upwards of 50 to possibly close to $100 billion a year. Okay, so I can no longer in good conscience, okay, the Apefather. I can no longer in good conscience promote the stock market. Look, you like the stock market? God bless you, Antonio. I wish you nothing but the best of luck and, Godspeed. I'm not don't listen to me because I'm not a financial planner and I don't give financial advice. I'm an entertainer, but I cannot anymore in good conscience promote the stock market. Like I said, you can day trade. I say this all the time. And from time to time, you might make some money. And time to time, you might lose some money. But overall, the stock market, to me, I don't care what you say with your statistics. You can give me all the NASDAQ statistics you want. The stock market is rigged, in my opinion. I say it's alleged. That's just the way I see it. And it seems like you're the only person here. I don't care about your statistics. I don't care. You can take your statistics and shove them where the sun doesn't shine. Okay? Bro, $350 billion was lost. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's it. That's the bottom line. That's all I care about. Okay? You can take all these statistics. It means nothing to me. It means absolutely nothing to me. When you take $350 billion and it turns to zero, I mean, that's just crazy. That is some Norman Bates psycho lunatic shit. Okay. And it amazes me that people are still investing in the stock market. It amazes me. It absolutely amazes me that there's still people. I'm not talking about good companies, Antonio. I'm still talking about meme stocks. People are still investing in their Robinhood accounts. They're still investing in their Webull accounts in meme stocks. Okay. It's friggin' crazy. Antonio, you see, this is where me and you have like a major problem. Okay. This is where me and you have a major problem. Adam Aaron never proved. Listen to me. Try to listen to me. You can't just look. I know what you're trying to do, Antonio. I get it. I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to place all the blame on me. You're trying to just say because I was a cheerleader of AMC and I was saying AMC to Pluto and 100,000, 200,000, all this shit. I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to place all the blame on me. But what you're not understanding is that there was very good reason to believe after what happened to GameStop and after what happened to Melvin, there was very good reason to believe that AMC was next. I mean, AMC shot up to $73 a share. Okay, there was tremendous reason to believe that AMC could have a Boaz. Okay, Adam Aaron, and I repeat this to you, never was effing transparent. That's it. You see now, you want to ignore that. You wonder what you're like, I don't want to talk about that part. I just want to talk about that. You said that AMC could go to $500,000. Now you understand I had a disclaimer. I don't want to keep talking about this. You understand I said I'm not a financial planner. I don't give financial advice. I'm an entertainer. You understand that I don't act like a financial planner. You understand this, okay? But putting all of that aside, I was not the only person saying this stuff. I mean, virtually every single AMC YouTuber, you got New York Angelo, you got Finance News, you got Lou, you had Trey, you had Matt Kors, you had Review Dork, you had The Mask Investor. I could go all buy. Remember that guy buying the dips every day? He said AMC was going to $500,000. Remember buying the dips? Okay. So I was not the only person. Everyone was saying this. But you see, Vinny, again, if you lose in life fairly, this is what you don't understand. If you lose in life and it's a fair loss, it's a fair loss. That's called gambling. But when it's not fair, when you've been robbed, like, all right, let me ask you a question, Vinny. Hypothetical situation. You're walking down the street, okay? Some guy puts a gun to your head, puts a Glock to your head. Okay, says, give me all the money in your wallet. Okay, you give it to him. That's called being robbed, correct? Okay. When hedge funds are using illegal tactics such as naked shorting, okay, taking billions to potentially trillions of synthetic shares, dumping it on a stock to the point where it's virtually impossible for the stock to ever go up, okay, not paying any interest on these synthetic shares, that's the same thing to me as someone putting the Glock to your head. It's called being robbed. Now, you might say, well, that didn't happen, or you might say, we don't have proof that that happened. But that goes back to my point of Adam Aaron. That goes back to my point. He never did anything to prove to any one of us that this was a fair game. That's it. I don't want to keep repeating it. But Vinny, I'm making perfect sense. I mean, I just think you're an idiot. No offense. I'm making perfect logical sense. You know what I mean? When you're robbed in life, are you an advocate of criminals? I think you are because you like Lou. I mean, maybe Vinny, that's what it is. You're an advocate of criminals. Apparently you're all for people robbing people, stealing from senior citizens, stealing from retail investors. I mean, maybe you're an advocate of it. I don't know because you seem to be completely against the fact that Adam Aaron never showed proof that there weren't synthetic shares in AMC. You seem to be totally okay with that. You're totally okay with that. Listen to me. I'm sorry. Something is not right when a corporation like Citadel, and that's why they got fined $7 million. Something is not right when a corporation like Citadel, a hedge fund, makes $16 billion and retail loses 350 billion the same year. Something is not right. Something is rotten in Denmark, and I don't care what you all have to say. That's it. I don't care what you have to say. Okay. Look, Antonio, I understand you think I put 600. I did not put $600,000 in AMC, you sick lunatic. I did not put $600,000 in AMC. And I made a lot of money back in a lot of other places in my life, which you have no idea about. You don't know my finances, Antonio. So stop acting like you do. Okay? Stop acting like you do. It was around 200K. But the thing is, I made money back in other areas. Listen to me, Antonio. Antonio, here's the bottom line. Listen to me very carefully. Listen to me very, 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 very carefully. In order for you to do an accounting of everything that occurred in my portfolio, you would have to see more than just AMC. There is consistent buying and selling and consistent adding to my accounts. You physically cannot make a judgment of what you see. In other words, here's what you're doing, Antonio. Can I tell you what you're doing, brother? Listen, let me tell you what you're doing. You're acting as if I only have AMC in my portfolio. That's it. I have no other stocks. Listen to me. I have no other assets. I have no other investments. I have nothing. Now, if that would be the case, you would be 100% true. But how do you know anything? How do you know I didn't put, like, just hear me out for a second. How do you know I didn't put money in AMC and sold at a certain point and then bought back at a lower point? How do you don't, in other words, how do you know I didn't swing trade? Do you see where I'm going? How do you know I didn't make money from GameStop and then take that money, okay, and put it back into AMC? So what you're doing is you're making a lot of assumptions. You're making a lot of assumptions. And when you make assumptions, you make an ass out of you and me. So do us all a favor. Stop making assumptions. You are not my accountant. You do not know my business. Stop making assumptions. It's not about lying. It's just that what you're doing is this. You're basing your theory. This is what it is. That I make no money anywhere else, and all I'm doing is putting all of my money into AMC to lower my cost average. That's what you're basing it on. But you're not basing it on a lot of factors, okay? That I could have sold AMC, I could have bought it again at a lower price, okay, and got a tremendous amount of shares. I could have took profits from other stocks. I could have took profits from other investments. Your whole theory is based on I'm losing, and just refilling the pot with money. And that's not what happened. So stop assuming, okay? Listen to me, Antonio. Again, I'm repeating to you. You don't know my business. Stop assuming. Stop assuming. I'm not going to get into anything with you. And I never ever said to you, okay, when you said I didn't sell, I said these were all the questions. People would ask me, do I still have AMC? And I would say yes. So let me correct you, Antonio. When I said I didn't sell, that means, let me explain to you what that means. It means I still own AMC shares. So let me just give you an example, Antonio, just to mess with your brain a little bit. Let's assume I have 10,000 shares of AMC. I'm just throwing out numbers, okay? Now let's say I sold 5,000 shares at a higher price and then rebought shares at a lower price. When someone would say to me, did I sell AMC? The reason why my answer to that question would be no is because I'm still retaining 5,000 shares. See, to me, when someone asks me a question, do you still have AMC? Okay, the answer is yes. That is the truthful answer. It is not a lie. It is a truthful answer. Okay, but you don't know my business. You don't know what I'm doing even now. You don't know. I could be day trading AMC every day. I could be making 1,000 or 2,000 a day. You have no idea what I'm doing, Antonio. So all I'm just telling you, and I'm trying to be a gentleman, stop assuming. Just stop assuming that you know what I'm doing with my business, because you don't. All right, Antonio, I'm not gonna argue. See, Antonio, this is one of the things that makes me want to like block you out of the live stream. I don't want to talk about this stuff. I want to talk about the casino business. You're trying to force me to talk about. I answered your question. I explained to you you don't know my business. If you carry on with this, I have to just I have to block you. That's it. So are you going to stop talking about this? Because one more effing comment and you're gone. That's it. Antonio, I answered the question. You don't know my business. When people say to me, did I sell AMC? That just means to me that I still have AMC shares. So the reason I'll say I didn't sell is because I still have AMC shares. That's it. But I don't have to tell everybody. So who are you to me that I have to tell you every single transaction that I do in my life? Who are you? Are you my accountant? Are you the SEC? Are you my family? You're nothing to me. Why do you feel that you need to know the right of every single thing I do in my life? Okay. And why do you have to super analyze everything? Why do you have to super analyze everything? If I told you I didn't sell, it simply means it's because I still retained AMC shares. You're taking this too far. You don't know what I do with transactions. I've made money on major stocks that you don't know about. I made money on Amazon. I made money on Tesla. I made money on UXIN. I made money on COSM. I made money on GameStop. You have no idea. You think you know everything about me, yet you know very, very little. You don't know anything about me. Stop assuming. Nothing is exposed. Antonio, look, the only way you can expose someone is if you open up someone's books. Okay. And guess what? That's precisely what Adam Aaron did not do. That is precisely what Adam Aaron did not do. Do you want to know why we can't expose Adam Aaron? Because he never opened up his books. That's why everything is a big guessing game. The only way you could truly expose someone is if you open up their books. You don't know what my books are. You haven't seen my books. Stop assuming. Stop assuming. So anyway, hopefully that's done. Okay. Now, Antonio, whether you want to accept this or not, okay, I have been a very savvy investor my whole life. I have made money, like I said, I have made money on 3 real estate transactions. I own 3 homes. Every single house that I've owned, I made a tremendous, tremendous profit. My family, my father, did tremendous in real estate. And even in the stock market, believe it or not, he got lucky. He got into Tesla at the right time. But the thing is that you're basing everything with me on one single stock. This is what it is. You're not basing it on anything else. You're not basing it on that I made a fortune in gold. You're not basing that my house right now is worth close to $600,000 and I bought it for $320,000. You're basing everything on AMC. Okay, that's what you're doing. You're basing my whole intelligence, my whole investment experience on one stock. Okay, you have no idea the money I've made in my life. You have no idea who I am. You have no idea about anything about me. You got to stop this effing assumption shit. Got to stop it because I'm a fucking millionaire. Okay, you gotta stop assuming. All you do is assume. It's assume, 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 assume. Antonio, I'm worth more than you. Calm down. Go home, get your shine box, okay? Make yourself a nice cream friggin' soda and a tuna fish sandwich. You will never be worth more. And let me tell you this, brother. 1 year from now, I will be so far ahead of you in terms of finances, you will virtually never be able to catch up with me. Just 1 year from now. Okay. So just try to calm yourself down, take a deep breath. Look, okay? Because you're never going to be me. All right? Thank you. I never said I lost money on UXIN. I made money on UXIN. I was very clear about that. I was very clear. But how do you know I didn't sell GameStop? See. Once again, listen to me. Once again, Antonio, you're going into the assumption game. How do you know I didn't sell GameStop at 24? Do you know this for a fact? Do you know this for a fact that I didn't sell GameStop at 24? Another thing, you don't know how many shares of GameStop I had. Your whole theories, listen to me, your whole theories is based on assumption. You're assuming everyone does this. It's like you all assume everything about me. You don't know nothing about me. Just like I don't know nothing about you. As far as I'm concerned, you could be some friggin' guy who works at Target. Listen to me, Antonio. You could be some guy who works at Target who makes $15 an hour. I have no idea anything about you or anything about your business. Just like you don't know anything about my business. Stop assuming everything. Okay, you're quoting me, but you're quoting me. So here's an example. You're correcting your assessment of when I got involved in GameStop. How do you know I didn't sell it at 24? How do you know that? Do you know that for a fact? Answer the question. Do you know for a fact that I didn't sell GameStop? I'm asking you a simple question. Do you know for a fact that I didn't sell it at 24? Do you know how many shares of GameStop I have? Okay. Do you see how the assumption is coming into play? You're just assuming everything. Listen to me very carefully. What I say, okay, to people, right? Hear me out, okay, is true. I do have a 5 year plan with GameStop, but that doesn't mean I can't sell it at 24 and then rebuy it at 16. Okay, and still have a 5 year plan. You could have a 5 year plan with GameStop and still buy and sell. You understand? Okay, this is the thing. You take everything I say to heart. You take everything I say literally. Okay, so in other words, you take what I say and then you base it on your own judgment of what you feel I'm actually doing. You could have a 5 year plan and still buy and sell a stock. Okay, can you cut it out now, Antonio? Nothing is a lie, Antonio. When you were born, your parents, okay, that was the lie. You were given to another set of parents. That was the lie, brother. The miscommunication is that you assume everything. That's the miscommunication. That's the miscommunication. Is that you take all right, let me give you an example of what I mean. Here's an example. And I'm not trying to be a jerk off, okay? Let's say you told me, Richie, once in a while I like to dress up like a woman. I like to put on high heels, I like to put on stockings, and I like to put on a dress. Now just hear me out. Now I say Antonio is gay. But then you say to me, wait, I'm not gay. I'm just a cross dresser. Once in a while, I like to put on lipstick. Once in a while, I like to put on a dress, stockings, and high heels. But I'm not gay. So, did you see what I just did? I took something you said and I made an assumption. That's what you do. You take things I say and then you assume something. Because I have a 5 year plan doesn't mean I don't have the right within that 5 years to add to my position or to sell and to buy at a lower price. I could still have a 5 year plan. Jesus, God forgive me. Antonio, you got to stop. Listen to me. Listen to me very carefully. You got to stop assuming. I don't tell people, all right, how can I say this? I don't tell people all of my business. You understand? I give them a taste. I give people a taste, but I don't tell people all of my business. And rightfully so, right? Don't you think certain things in life should be private? Like, here's an example, Antonio, right? Possibly I went to the bathroom 15 minutes ago and I masturbated. Okay. Do you need to know that? Do you need to know that? I'm just curious. Like, so in other words, do I need to tell you every single ounce of my business? Do you need to know if I made love to my wife? Do you need to know how many times I did that? What else do you need to know? Antonio, let's say it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I go downstairs and I have a Twinkie. Antonio, should I email you? Should I email you that, Antonio? Should I say, listen, Antonio, I just want to let you know I had a Twinkie. Antonio, you don't need to know every single aspect of my business. I give you a taste. That's all I give you. I give you a taste. But Antonio, like, here's an example. How do I know for a fact that what you're saying is true? I mean, see, now I'm gonna play the same game. Listen to me. I'm gonna play the same game. I'm gonna play the same game with you. Antonio, because you say something, it may not necessarily be true, correct? You haven't showed me any proof. You haven't. I'll tell you what. Send me the deed to your house that says your name. Show me your license. Okay. Give me, look, you know all of my information. You know where I live. You know my address. You know my name. Anybody can say anything, brother. Anybody can say anything. But the bottom line is that you could be lying very easily too. You could be lying right now to me. You could be living in a friggin' cockroach studio apartment, but you're telling me you own a $600,000 house. How do I know for a fact that you're not lying to me? Why would I do that? Because people do it. Look at the regulator. Do you really think? Let me ask you this question, Antonio. Do you really think the regulator is worth $80 million? Because that's what he says. No, but let me ask you a question. Do you think the regulator? You know who the regulator is, right? Do you think that he's worth $80 million in your opinion? What's your opinion on that? Because that's what he says. That's what he says. He comes to these live streams. He says he's worth $80 million. Do you think that's true? Don't know. Okay. So listen to me, Antonio. Is it a fair assessment that if you don't know if the regulator is telling the truth, okay, that you also don't know all of my business? Would you think that's a fair assessment? Is that a fair assessment? The way you don't know if the regulator is being honest, or you don't really know anything about me either. So just, Antonio, stop assuming, okay? Just stop assuming. That's all I'm saying to you, brother. Stop assuming. But Antonio, it's not that. Listen, you're a very hardcore person. You're a very stubborn person. All right, Antonio, let me prove this to you because I like arguing. It's kind of entertaining. If someone says to me, "Hear me out," do I still have AMC? Because I get asked this a lot. Okay, the question is, the answer rather is yes. I still have AMC. Okay, that doesn't mean that over the last 2 years I didn't sell AMC at some point. I didn't rebuy it at a lower price. Okay. The point is you don't know. That's what. So in other words, all this is all I'm trying to say to you. Do you want me to get to the point? Stop coming up with this conclusion that I've lost $600,000 because that I look. I am telling you right now that is not the case. That is not the case. Okay. You're making this up because you're putting together a theory that I've never sold. You're putting together a theory that I held all the way to the bottom. You're putting together a theory that I have not made any money in any other places in the stock market or in other assets or in other investments. You have no idea about my effing business. So stop assuming. That's all I'm saying to you. But it's like, I don't know. It's like you're having such a hard like time just accepting that. Just stop assuming. All right, Antonio, it's just getting to the point where you're starting to aggravate me, brother. I'm trying to be a gentleman with you. I'm trying to give you the answers. I'm trying to explain it to you, but it's like you're continuously calling me a liar. Okay, so we're gonna have to end this, Antonio. Take care. We gotta say bye to Antonio. No matter how many times I answered the guy's question, he keeps calling me a liar. I'm answering his question, liar. You lied about this. You lied about this. You lied about this. You lied about. But I'm answering his question. But it's like he refuses. He refuses to just stop breaking my balls. And I told everybody I don't want to deal with this on these live streams anymore. So he had to go bye bye. Hi, Antonio. Okay, now we're gonna get back to the real business. Since that's done, that psychopath is gone. Um, Look, I don't care what anybody says. Okay. There is something wrong. There is something wrong when Citadel is making $16 billion dollars and retail investors are losing $350 billion dollars. There's something not right in that picture. Okay. That's why the SEC had to show face and they had to fine Citadel something. What they did was a disgrace. It was a slap in the wrist. Okay. And obviously, they did it because they wanted to just shut the public up, show a little face that, hey, you know what? We find Citadel. But there's something not right when a company is making 16 billion and retail is losing 350 billion. Now, look, like I said, I'd rather just talk to myself. I like talking to myself because eventually at some point, I'm going to reach people that agree with me. Okay. Maybe all of you Babalooks don't agree with me, but at some point I'm gonna reach people that agree with me. Um, I don't know how else to say this to you. If that $350 billion dollars was invested in the casino business, whether it be a casino in Macau, whether it be a casino in Las Vegas, whether it would have been an online, online casino, sports betting, we would probably have an empire. You understand? That would be generating 50 to $100 billion a year. Instead, you know what that $350 billion did for retail? It gave us nothing. We lost it all. It's worth zero. That money was transferred to Ken Griffin and other hedge funds and other short sellers. Okay, so all I'm trying to make you understand is this, and it's really not complicated. It's not rocket science. The friggin' stock market is rigged. Okay. I'll say it's alleged, whatever words you want me to use. But when Citadel is making $16 billion, when every single AMC ape took a beating, lost over 90% of their friggin' money, right? And Adam Aron is making $50 billion, okay, from his sales of AMC. Adam Aron is making a salary of $25 million a year. Adam Aron now got the approval from Judge Zerd to sell up to 390 million shares of AMC, which is billions. It's like two billion. Okay, there's something now. Don't you think there's something wrong, you stupid bastards? Don't you think there's something wrong? I mean, I think there's something wrong with all of you. I think all of you are the dumbest people on earth that it seems to be okay with you that Ken Griffin and Citadel made $16 billion. Adam Aron is making billions of dollars, and we all lost all of our money. And it seems like you're okay with it. You're like, that's fine. That's fair. That's a fair marketplace. Look, I explained dynamics and logistics that there's no more hate here. There's no more hate. So bye bye. It's like you guys are not listening to me. No more hate in the live streams. I'm done. Look, I tried to have a civil conversation with Antonio Miranda. I tried to have a simple conversation, but the guy, no matter how much I was answering his questions, no matter how, fair I was being with answering his questions, it's just like he just didn't want to hear it. He didn't want to hear it. He kept calling me a liar, just like you, Dynamic Synergistics. You called me a scam artist. The reality is this: I've never committed a scam in my life. I am a law-abiding citizen. There is nothing wrong with getting super chats, Dynamic Synergistics or Dynamic Destroyer. There is nothing wrong with it, okay? I am not doing anything illegal. You guys use the word scam like as if you're drinking a cup of water, okay? I have never, and I repeat, never committed a scam in my life. That's it. Okay, so, I had to get rid of that guy because it's like, once again, they're coming to these live streams and they just want to promote hate. That's it. I want to talk about the casino business. Look, like I said to you, and I don't want to keep being redundant, Atlantic City does not make the same amount of money that Las Vegas makes. Atlantic City does not make the same amount of money that Macau makes. But I'm just giving you one example. The Bagada makes 124 million a month. Now, again, this is just one casino. We're not talking about 10 casinos. We're not talking about 20. One effing casino makes over like what, 1.2 bill a year. Listen to me. Again, I go back to the same points. I have to be redundant. We all lost 350 billion in the stock market. All of us. I'm not just saying me, all of us retail investors. Can you imagine if, okay, let's say the Bagada could be bought. I'll just say, let's just, again, I'm just throwing out a number. Let's say $4 billion. Let's say that we could acquire the Bagada. Just hear me out. Again, we're talking entertainment purposes only. But let's say we could acquire the Bagada for $4 billion. So now, what did retail lose? What was that about again? 350 billion. Okay, that means that we could have bought close to 100 casinos. Okay. Now, if each one of those, let's go with 100 casinos. If each one of those casinos were making $1 billion, right? Which is a safe assumption. Okay. That's $100 billion. Listen to me, you friggin' jackasses. That is $100 billion a year revenue coming in every effing year. So this is what I'm trying to make all of you understand because you're all like brainless idiots. Okay. You took $350 billion. You gave it to Ken Griffin. You gave it to short sellers. You gave it to hedge funds. That money is now worth zero. It's worth nothing. If you took that same amount of money, it could have went to acquire 100 casinos on the same stature and level as the Bagada, which is making $124 million a month. So in essence, you would probably have a return of investment of well over 100%. Okay. Well, what am I saying? 100%. Excuse me. Let me take that back. You would have, I meant to say $100 billion. You'd have $100 billion in revenue. Okay. Coming in forever. Okay. So that's why the Apefather in good conscience can no longer talk about stocks. I can't do it no more. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be like Lou, or I'm not going to be like all these lunatics who are talking about AMC still having the Boaz and it's all happening and I can't do it no more. I can't do it no more. So what I'm looking for is the following. I'm looking to build up people in my live stream that think like me, that feel the casino industry is a cash cow, okay? And that feel, okay, that they want to be a part of it. Now, let me explain to you the process. I am not offering a solicitation of any investment at all. Not right now, okay? Because I am not registered with the SEC. I am not offering a solicitation of an investment. What I am asking for is for people to give me what's called a vote of confidence with a super chat. Now, we all know super chats are entertainment purposes only. We all know this. Okay. If enough people, like I said, retail, there was like millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of investors. Okay. If enough people come to my live stream and give a lousy $5 super chat, $10 super chat, I've sometimes got more. I sometimes got 50. One time I got $100 super chat. Okay. And they keep coming back over and over and over again. There is a possibility that I could fund the first project. Granted, you will have no ownership of this because, as I said, this is not an investment. Super chats are not investments. Now, you might say it doesn't make any sense. Why would I give you this money to help you acquire a casino? Because I want to be the leader. Okay. I want to be appointed the leader of all of the retail investors. Yes. Okay. And let me tell you the reason why. Because I think you need my help. I really, really think you need my help. You lost $350 billion. I think you need my help. I think you need a new direction. Okay. And I think there has to be somebody, there has to be in every organization, there has to be someone who's a leader. You could call him a CEO, whatever you want to call him. There has to be a front man. There has to be the face of the organization. That's what I want. I want to be that face. Okay. And then what I'm planning to do once this first project is completed, and you have my word on this, is that I will hire the most prestigious, top of the line securities firm to put together an offering that it has to get approved by the SEC. Once it's approved by the SEC and all the legal paperwork has been filed and the SEC approves it, I will then send all of you out prospectus, okay, the business plan where you can now make an educated decision if you would like to participate in terms of getting an interest moving forward in like a second project, in a third project, in a fourth project. And you know what's going to be great about it? I'm going to open up all the books to you. I'm going to do something that Adam Aaron never did. I'm going to do something that Adam Aaron never did. You know how we never opened up the books, never did a share recall, never hired West Christian, never hired Share Intel. I'm going to open up. You're going to know every detail about this business. You're going to know how much it costs to build. You're going to know how much it's bringing in revenue. You're going to know all of the management and all of the executives. You're going to know the whole staff, their experience. You're going to know everything. Okay? You're going to know everything. And that to me is a smart plan. Okay? What I feel you're all doing is a stupid plan. You're repeating the same things you did before. You lost 350 billion and you're doing it again. And probably in 2023, we're going to hear that retail lost 400 billion. It's like you're doing the same shit again. You're going into a rigged industry. You're going into a controlled industry. You're going into an industry that's not fair. It's not fair. So I don't understand why you don't want to try a different direction. With that said, I'll end the live stream. I think I said enough. Everything I said in this live stream is not financial advice. I am not a financial planner. It is entertainment purposes only. Super chats are for entertainment purposes only. This conversation, as of right now, is for entertainment purposes only. V for victory. God bless.